Okay, today I have my Hitachi cassette deck. It has no line fuse in it for overcurrent protection. There is the UL label and the specs just to the right of the UL label. Here is the power transformer and the board on top of it. As you can see, the power goes straight to the transformer without any line fuse for overcurrent protection. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is look at my cord and make sure it's not polarized, so it doesn't matter which side I come off of, but this side looks like it's the neutral because it usually has the line on it. So we're going to take our cutters here. We'll pull the Now we'll go to our fuse block down here. So I'll cut it about right here. Okay, I take the fuse block here. I'm going to sand the terminal because the plating doesn't really take the solder very well. Oh, that sanded really nice. And I'll do the same on the other side. I'm going to need to use a flatter surface here. I'll bring this down so it's in the camera view. This has a nice flat surface. There, I got a good sanding on the back side. I got a good sanding on that side, and we'll sand this side this year. Okay, I got the terminals all kind of like roughed up on both sides there. I'm going to just go over this one a little bit more. Okay, so now I'll show you how I do the soldering. We use a rosin core solder here. The flux I showed you there a minute ago. And we're going to use some 16 gauge wire. Okay, so we're going to strip a little piece of the 16 gauge wire. I'm going to twist my strands together. I'm going to take and stick it down in the flux there. I'm going to put some flux on both sides of the terminal here. This side and this side. I make sure all my strands are in the hole. Okay, that's going to fit. Okay, I'll put some solder on my iron here. Okay, so I'm going to heat the wire and the terminal. I got a nice full solder joint there. I'm letting that cool a bit. I'll turn it over. I don't like how it looks on the bottom, so I'll take and I'll put a little more flux down here on the bottom. Put some more solder on my iron. And I'll do the same thing. I'll heat the wire in the terminal. There we go. I got a nice full solder joint there. Got that cool. The other side, it's all nice and full. I'll twist my strands together. I'll stick my wire into the flux. I might even just dip this down into the flux, so I get plenty of flux there and over here. Okay, now I'll put this wire in like that. Put some more solder on my iron. I'll heat the wire and the terminal. I'll let that cool a bit. I'll turn it over. It didn't quite fill on this side, so I'm going to get a little more flux in here. Put some more solder on my iron. And I'll heat the wire moved, so I had to reheat it and reseat it. So I'm going to put more solder on it. because that's what I want it to look like. I'm just let that cool a bit. Turn it over. It's a nice full solder joint on this side too. Full on that side. Full on this side. Full on this side. So this can go down in here. Now I'm going to bend these terminals up, and they'll be screwed down right here. So I'm going to get this wire back out of the way here. We got to pull this wire out. So suck it up, solder. As I can see, it's wrapped around a post in here. So I'll grab with my pliers down here, just tin the iron a hair. And I'll clean the hole out. Okay, so we'll take our 18 gauge wire here. We're going to come up through the hole. Or this is 16 gauge. I'll make sure all my strands are together. Come up through the hole, come around, and back down on the pad there. I'll put some flux on my board here. And my tip again, and I'll heat the soldering wire, the board, the pad, the wire, the terminal. And there's a perfect solder joint. I tin my iron when I'm done. Okay, so now we're ready to mount our block down in place here. Put my screw down through there. this up like this. I'll clip the screw off here. Take my screwdriver, put my block all nice and straight. Slightly crooked. Okay, now it's nice and straight. So I'll put the screwdriver on it. Now let's get this nice knob turn. Now we'll put our wires back down into the this one will go back in this hole, this little slot here. This one's going to go back down in this little slot. This one's going to have to be pulled down so it stays down away from everything. There's a little thing there to zip tie to. So I'll use a zip tie and tie it onto this. Take our cutter and just clip the end of that zip tie off. We'll put our half-amp fuse in here in a minute. But I want to show you something before I put that in. Okay, so you can see my work there close up. So if any of these rectifier diodes go bad here in a shorting condition, without this fuse I'm putting in, it can overheat the transformer. The transformer can get hot. The primary windings can get hot. It can short out inside the transformer, and it could potentially get the line cord overheated. And it could, if it shorts out outside the unit, it could short out and catch your house on fire. So I'm going to show you the two fuses here. This is your typical house fuse, and this is the half-amp fuse we're going to be putting in here. So while it's taking time for this to melt in your fuse box or trip in your breaker box, it can be getting this line cord hot, and if the insulation melts outside here and shorts out on the and it's against a curtain, it could start a fire in the house. And it's especially important to put a fuse in this type of unit because some of them have a power standby, so only the secondary is switched. So in this case, the primary is always energized. So if it's shorted out when you're not home, it could cause a fire without a fuse. So consult an authorized service center before going about doing this, because if it's done wrong, you can create a shock or fire hazard. So there's a close-up of it all finished. Thanks for watching.